Familiar strains of Morning Town Ride. Yet it's me, Ed Stewart, saying Happy Christmas to you all, and welcome once again to our little once-a-year day, our 2 hours on Christmas morning of your requests and some of the best music we've ever heard. Right, especially this one. I can see you there, wobbling around the old kitchen table on Christmas morning, ready to start the cooking. Haven't you started yet? Cool. Well, I don't have to do any. I'm going with friends to eat today, so there. How are you all? OK. We've got some dedications. Julie Smith and Rob Hoon said, request a Wombles for our niece and nephew, Stella and Adam in Edinburgh, who will be listening to your show on their radio apps on their new gadgets. I just listen on my old tranny, me. We've been listening to on crystal sets, it seems, all these years. You've been around, Ed. Thank you so much. Me and Edison, yes. Merry Missmas says Teresa Mills Bowler, who says, any record of your choosing, if it's a Wombles one for the Mills family of Walthamstow E17. Me and my 3 siblings all grew up listening to your programme with our dear mum and dad, and now we want to share you with our children. Oh, how nice. How considerate for Christmas. Thank you very much, the Mills Bowlers. And one more for a Wombles there from Maxine, and a request for my sister Lorna on your show. We used to love listening to you on a Saturday morning when we were small, and Lorna didn't realise you had this show on Christmas Day until a couple of years ago. So say hello to us all, and especially to her, Alan, Ewan and Ayla, and And my big hello to my other sisters, Christine and Anne, and all nieces and nephews and cousins, and my husband, Mel, and Emily, Nathan, Matthew, Catherine, and Ewan. Lots of names are banding about today, so you have to keep your ears really open to find out whether it's going to be your day for a mention and a request. If you're a Ronnie Hilton fan, it's certainly going to be a day for a request. Here we go again, then. Junior choice. I remember my first junior choice was in 1968 at the Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital in London, and I was going from ward to ward and bed to bed to say good morning to everybody and doing the usual old thing, reading up the requests as well. So it's going to be Ronnie Hilton for Rachel Askew, a windmill in Old Amsterdam, which, having only heard for the first time 2 years ago in your show, is now a Yuletide staple. If at all possible, I'd like to dedicate it to my long-suffering husband, David, to apologise for never growing up, despite my mature years. Rachel, none of us have really grown up. You know that, don't you? Say hello to my husband Nick, says Chris Thomas, and son Dan on Christmas morning. We're looking forward to listening and as we prepare the Christmas dinner, particularly like a windmill in Old Amsterdam. Merry Christmas, sir, says Paul Waller in Birmingham. He knows how to get a mention. Say hello and play a windmill in Old Amsterdam by Ronnie Hilton for my wife Emma, who loves this song. And a Merry Christmas to all the Waller, Price and Weston families. And one more for Ronnie Hilton from Richard Coghill of Wood Green in North London. Thank you very much. Reminding me of those great days. Yes, I was only having my very meagre Dutch breakfast in my hotel this morning of cheese and pickles and all those lovely things they have in Holland and ham, and thinking about this record and looking forward to playing it.
A mouse lived in a windmill in Old Amsterdam. A windmill with a mouse in, and he wasn't grousing. He sang every morning, how lucky I am, living in a windmill in Old Amsterdam. I saw a mouse there on the stair, right there. A little mouse with clogs on. Well, I declare, going clip, clippity-clop on the stair. Oh, yeah. This mouse, he got lonesome. He took him a wife. A windmill with mice in, it's hardly surprising. She sang every morning, how lucky I am, living in a windmill in Old Amsterdam. I saw a mouse there on the stair, right there. A little mouse with clogs on. Well, I declare, going clip, clippity-clop on the stair. Oh, yeah. First they had triplets and then they had twins. A windmill with quins in, triplets and twins in. They sang every morning, how lucky we are, living in a windmill in Amsterdam, yeah. I saw a mouse there on the stair, right there. A little mouse with clogs on. Well, I declare, going clip, clippity-clop on the stair. Oh, yeah. The daughters got married and so did the sons. The windmill had christenings when no one was listening. They all sang in chorus, how lucky we am, living in a windmill in Old Amsterdam. I saw a mouse there on the stair, right there. A little mouse with clogs on. Well, I declare, going clip, clippity-clop on the stair. Oh, yeah. A mouse lived in a windmill so snug and so nice. There's nobody there now but a whole lot of mice.
You're all waiting for that bit, aren't you? Charlie Cully and Charlie Ponting and Jacob Wilson and Tallulah Fry, Indiana Fry and Ben White. Well, they love that one. Windmills in Old Amsterdam. And another one that came in whilst the record was playing, amazingly. John Thompson, my two wonderful boys, Peter and Frederick Thompson in Formby, and my superstar niece and nephew, Ella and Ollie Davis in No, not Amsterdam, Amersham. Happy Christmas, everybody. I love you all, says John Thompson. And one on the phones as we were playing that record. Merry Christmas to all at George Eliot Hospital in Nuneaton. And a windmill in Old Amsterdam will really cheer us all up. Now, if you want to, because I'm here this morning live in one piece as one person, and that's why I can take any of your messages. You can email stewpot@bbc.co.uk, text us 88291. You see, that's very subtle, isn't it, that text number? We have 88 to 91 FM. No, it's not. It's just 88291. Or you can phone us on 0500 288 291. And text will be charged at your standard message rate. Calls are free from most landlines. Some networks and mobile operators will charge for these calls. Right. I can't mention everybody, of course, but just sit back if you haven't asked for anything and hope that you're going to get one you really, really like. Paul Cool from York says, Merry Christmas to you, Ed, and Bring Me Sunshine by Morecambe and Wise. Well, you played it a couple of years ago for all of us here at the hospital. I'm wondering whether you could play another of their great songs, which is called Positive Thinking. I haven't heard it played on the Junior Choice before, and if York Hospital radio station have it on as well, we'll all be listening to them in York. OK, we'll do that. Let me see it. I've got one here for you. Paul Yeomans. I'm thrilled you're on Radio 2 this morning again. I rediscovered your show a few years ago while opening our presents and was delighted to hear you playing all the old songs from my childhood. A request for Georgia Yeomans of Penkridge, Staffordshire, who's 6 this Christmas morning and listening out. She didn't know what she'd get played for her, but I hope you'll have a laugh like the rest of us as well with Morecambe and Wise.
When you feel down, try positive thinking. That's what I told them and said. Don't wear a frown, try positive thinking. Laugh at your troubles instead. You've got to look on the bright side. On hope so much depends. With your confidence sinking, positive thinking helps you on the way, my friend. When things look black, try positive thinking. Treat every season as spring. No glancing back. Try positive thinking. Trust what tomorrow may bring. This crazy world that we live in will keep on spinning round. But with good, strong, positive thinking, we'll get together and life won't let us down. When you feel down, try positive thinking. That's what I told them and said. Don't wear a frown, try positive thinking. Laugh at your troubles instead. You've gotta look on the bright side. On hope so much depends. With your confidence sinking, positive thinking helps you on the way, my friend. When things look black, try positive thinking. Treat every season as spring. No glancing back. Try positive thinking. Trust what tomorrow may bring. This crazy world, what we live in, will keep on spinning round. But with good, strong, positive thinking. Good, strong, positive thinking. Good, strong, positive drinking, we'll get together and life won't let us
Yeah, great programme.
Like that, don't you?
Oh, what did he say there? I've talked over him. I do beg his pardon. But I was thinking about positive thinking, and because we saw that programme on Ernie Wise the other night, and it was excellent too, wasn't it? Positive thinking, that's what we need at Everton these days. I only mention that because Brian Evans says, P.S. Hope Santa gives David Moyes some money for Christmas. Haven't got many fingernails left. We'll be all right, Brian. Don't worry, sir. And Brian Evans says, this year Matthew, Kieran and Ben Swords, together with Mum and Dad, Hayley and John, are spending their first French Christmas with us at our home in Mayenne in France. We've done our best to make it a magical time for the boys, but the icing on the cake will be a request for them from you. Oh, Bonne Noël, boys, Matthew, Kieran and Ben. Nana, Val and I have listened to you over the many years and just wish you were back for good. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that either, personally. John Barton then emails me and says, our son John will be celebrating his 40th birthday on the 31st of December. However, he will not be here in the UK or for Christmas, but in Hokkaido, North Japan, where he has lived with his wife Kihiro for the past 12 years. And after an absence of over 2 years, he surprised us with a 3-week visit to Westwood Ho, North Devon, last month. So we had quality time together, played golf at the Royal North Devon Golf Club, but seriously though, he did mention that, and I mentioned to him that we were having Junior Choice on Radio 2 once again with Ed Stewart, so would you mention us all to bring him back happy memories? And very appropriately for him and his wife, who are here now, we saw 3 ships come sailing by.
I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning.
And what was in those ships of me on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day? And what was in those ships of me on Christmas Day in the morning?
Our Saviour Christ anticipate on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Our Saviour Christ anticipate on Christmas Day in the morning.
Pray with us ere the ships of thee on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Pray with us ere the ships of thee on Christmas Day in the morning.
Oh, they sailed into Bethlehem on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Oh, they sailed into Bethlehem on Christmas Day in the morning.
And all the bells on earth shall ring on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. And all the bells on earth shall ring on Christmas Day in the morning.
And all the angels in heaven shall sing on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. And all the angels in heaven shall sing on Christmas Day in the morning.
And all the souls on earth shall sing on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. And all the souls on earth shall sing on Christmas Day in the morning. Then let us all rejoice and make on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Then let us all rejoice and make on Christmas Day in the morning.
It doesn't matter how often we play these wonderful carols and Christmas songs, we never tire of them, do we? The King's College Choir from Cambridge, and I saw 3 ships. OK, Michael Bublé, over to you.
Available to watch. A festive BBC Radio 2 in concert.
Mr. Christmas himself, Michael Bublé! Woo! Have I got a treat for you?
Recorded at the BBC Radio Theatre in London in front of 300 fans, Michael performed some of his new festive songs and classic hits. And you can see highlights right now.
I'm excited to get back here so I can play some of my favorite Christmas songs for you. He's coming.
Celebrate Christmas with BBC Radio 2 in concert and Michael Bublé. Go online at the Radio 2 website.
Just after 9:20, you see I'm live. We're here this morning. It's Ed Stewart with you. And if you like to tweet, by the way, please use the hashtag Junior Choice, all one word, and we'll keep an eye on what you're saying. It's always fascinating, isn't it, with all these modern appurtenances. He said, looking at his little old tranny. Morecambe and Wise on TV, Stewpot on the radio, and the Wombles to open the show. It doesn't get better than this, says Heather from Menston in West Yorkshire. Thank you, Heather. And happy Retro Christmas, Retro Christmas, everybody. Simon and Simon in Walsall say, wonderful to have you back on Radio 2 on Christmas Day. We listen to every year, and the 2 hours are the highlight of our Christmas Day. I'm so glad to hear it. It makes it all worthwhile. And one more has just come through. Merry Christmas, Ed and the team. How lovely to hear our programme back on the airways. Can you wish Merry Christmas to the Connolly family in Aldershot with love from the Brown family in Haddenham in Buckinghamshire? Thank you very much. As I said, all the old favourites. Here comes another of them now. And we can all think back to summertime with these. Yeah, you can. You know why? You know what it's going to be? It's going to be this.
Hello, mother. Hello, father. Here I am at Camp Granada. Camp is very entertaining. And they say we'll have some fun if it stops raining. I went hiking with Joe Spivey. He developed poison ivy. You remember Leonard Skinner? He got ptomaine poisoning last night after dinner. All the counselors hate the waiters, and the lake has alligators, and the head coach wants no sissies, so he reads to us from something called Ulysses. Now I don't want this should scare you, but my bunkmate has malaria. You remember Jeffrey Hardy? They're about to organize a searching party. Take me home, oh mother, father, take me home. I hate Granada, don't leave me out in the forest where I might get eaten by a bear. Take me home, I promise I will not make noise or mess the house with other boys. Oh, please don't make me stay. I've been here one whole day. Dearest father, darling mother, how's my precious little brother? Let me come home if you miss me. I would even let Aunt Bertha hug and kiss me. Wait a minute, it stopped hailing. Guys are swimming, guys are sailing, playing baseball. Gee, that's better. Mother, father, kindly disregard this letter.
Love it, love it, love it. Oh, don't you? I love them all in this 2 hours we have on a Christmas morning. But that was the wonderful Alan Sherman and Hello Mother, Hello Father. Another one we all love too, Nellie the Elephant. You can really join in on this one as well, especially on the chorus. Any of the old classics for the Hand family. Originally from Langley in Berkshire, but now living all over the country, from Huddersfield to Ilfracombe, Southend to Bournemouth. There's Dad, Eamon, and then all of the 6 kids, myself, Elaine, Paul, Joyce, Teresa, Carmel and Ray. And now our 14 children as well. And I don't want to waste the paper by mentioning them all. That's not very nice. Anyway, hi kids. Hope you're enjoying all this. We've got Nellie the Elephant again for Joe Garth of Catford in London. Remembers listening to Junior Choice when I was little, and I've been tuning into your comeback shows over the last couple of years, much to the bemusement of hubby Stephen, who is from New Zealand. Well, Kiwis are very intelligent. Last year, my wife Ruth and myself had a competition, and I came out tops because I knew you would play Camp Granada, which I've just done. So we're playing Nellie the Elephant next, because whilst that was playing that Hello Mother, Hello Father, some more came in. Kevin Ellis of Walsall, our super show it is. Brother Sean and family Yvonne, Stephen and Matthew should be listening in Thatcham. I'll be listening in the car with Jeff and Maureen on the way there from Walsall. We've even tried to get Brother Peter, Thomas and Hannah to listen to you on the internet in Napier, New Zealand. You see, the Kiwis are all at it now. John in Lincoln says, Hello Mother, Hello Father, and hope you enjoyed that one. All of you who enjoyed the Alan Sherman. Now we're all going to enjoy da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
To Bombay, a travelling circus came. They brought an intelligent elephant, and Nellie was her name. One dark night, she slipped her iron chain, and off she ran to Hindustan and was never seen again. Nellie the elephant packed her trunk and said goodbye to the circus. Off she went with a trumpety trump, 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 trump. Nellie the elephant packed her trunk and trundled back to the jungle. Off she went with a trumpety trump, 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 trump. The head of the herd was calling far, far away. They met one night in their silver light on the road to Mandalay. So Nellie the elephant packed her trunk and said goodbye to the circus. Off she went with a trumpety trump, 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 trump. danced to the circus band. When Nellie was leading the big parade, she looked so proud and grand. No more tricks for Nellie to perform. They taught her how to take a bow when she took the crowd by storm. Nellie the elephant packed her trunk and said goodbye to the circus. Off she went with a trumpety trump, 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 trump. Nellie the elephant packed her trunk and trundled back to the jungle. Off she went with a trumpety trump, 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 trump. The head of the herd was calling far, far away. They met one night in the silver light on the road to Mandalay. So Nellie the elephant packed her trunk and said goodbye to the circus. Off she went with a trumpety trump, 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 trump.
Mandy Miller and Nellie the Elephant, and whilst that was playing, we've had all sorts of messages coming in. Here's one from Captain Trevor Lane of Courtenay, Vancouver Island in British Columbia. He says, during your show last Christmas, you were kind enough to give us all a mention and play Nellie the Elephant. Well, you've done it again, Ed. Well done. For Paula again. And for family and friends across the world. It was quite a furore when you played it last year. I wonder if it had the same effect this year. It's a furore of laughter, not only here in Courtenay on Vancouver Island, but all across the world when many of my fellow cruise ship captains heard the message. We received loads of emails after the show, and for the past year I've been working as captain of a cruise ship based in Fremantle in Western Australia and cruising up to Indonesia. And one of the highlights was visiting Komodo Island and seeing the Komodo dragons. Not quite Nellie the Elephant, but probably as close as you can get. Thank you, Trevor. Looking forward to my own cruising this year again. Looking forward because you see all parts of the world, don't you? Kevin Anderson in Somerset says, hello mother, hello father was a favourite. I just have to read this one out because I've missed this bit at the top. He says, I wonder if you remember travelling down to the Falklands in 1982 to gather Christmas requests from the troops. I certainly do. On the way down, you had a stopover. Oh no, at Ascension Island. I was the duty RAF officer who looked after you that day and night and gave you the guided tour of all the best bars on the island. Don't mention it to anybody else, will you? But it was the worst hangover I ever had. Thank you, Kevin, for that wonderful memory. It's baby's first Christmas for little Wilbur. That's Wilbur Bear Pushkeen in Western Australia. Wilbur's mummy and daddy, Nikki and Ollie, have been packing his trunk back in Sydney so they can fly to Perth to spend Christmas with Grandma Ginny, Grandpa John, Uncle Ben, Auntie Annabelle, Auntie Vicky, Uncle Jim and Hugo the dog, and they'd love an hello darling. Have we got him ready? Yes, he is. We'll play him again in a minute. We'll play him again. I get requests wherever I go, what's happened to that little boy, hello darling? I think he's around 50 now, but I do have his number and his name in one of my diaries, so I must give him a call and tell him I played his hello darling this morning. Heaps of love anyway from that last one from Uncle Robin Boyton Hampton in Arden and Grandpa Jeff Stitch and Grandma Pat. All right. Complete change of mood now from Mary Barlow in High Wycombe, who says, would you please play Harry Belafonte's Mary's Boy Child for my son Ian Barlow? My name is Mary, and the song was #1 in the chart when he was born on the 19th of December, 1957. Thanks for a wonderful show. We'll be listening for this. And also another one for Harry Belafonte from Nikki Desborough in sunny Peterborough. I'm thrilled to hear you're doing Junior Choice again. It's become a staple in our family over Christmas, and I'd be thrilled if you would give a mention as the Desborough and Turner families. That's Mum Monica, sisters Sharon and Nikki, Sharon's youngster David, Michael and Stephen, and the cats Beamish, Neffa and Harry gather for Christmas, just so we can be reminded of the hilarity in our house as Mum reminded us of the vinyl record that she loved, but which went west after my sister Sharon sat on it. But nobody here did, so we're going to play it now.
Long time ago in Bethlehem, so the Holy Bible say, Mary's boy child, Jesus Christ, was born on Christmas Day. Hark now, hear the angels sing, a new King born today. And man will live forevermore
because of Christmas Day. Trumpets sound and angels sing. Listen what they say, that man will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. While shepherds watch their flock by night, them see a bright new shining star. Them hear a choir sing, the music seemed to come from afar. Now Joseph and his wife Mary come to Bethlehem that night. Them find no place to born she child, not a single room was in sight. Hark now, hear the angels sing, a new king born today, and man will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. Trumpets sound and angels sing. Listen what they say, that man will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. By and by they find a little nook in a stable all forlorn, and in a manger cold and dark Mary's little boy was born. Long time ago in Bethlehem, so the Holy Bible say, Mary's boy child, Jesus Christ, was born on Christmas Day. Hark now, hear the angels sing, a new king born today, and man will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. Trumpets sound and angels sing. Listen what they say, that man will live forevermore because of Christmas Day.
Belafonte with his number one from 1957. We've got another number one later on, hopefully in this half, from Dickie Valentine, another number one from the 50s when they had so many wonderful songs, didn't they? Yes. Guess what that's going to be? All right, I'll tell you. Christmas alphabet. Merry Christmas and congratulations to daughter Tanya and her new fiancé Russ. He has just got down on one knee and asked her to marry him. She said yes, from Dad and Alison. And he got back on the other knee, did he? And did it all over again. So well done. Congratulations to you, Tanya and Ross, getting engaged on Christmas Day. Oh, by the way, hashtag Junior Choice is now trending on Twitter. Yes! Everyone's thrilled here. Doesn't mean a good thing to me, of course. But I know it's very lovely, and they're all raising their arms in delight. So, yeah, hashtag Junior Choice. We'd love to hear your messages. I'll read some out in a minute. Jill Smith from Wiltshire has phoned us to say her son Tom and all theatre staff working today at the Royal United Hospital in Bath, please give them a mention. Mick and Mum are listening now. And husband John, Fraser and Katie in southwest Scotland. This is for Jane. Jane Firth, working at Castle Douglas Hospital. An awful lot of you are working today. I don't call what I'm doing work, but I'm out and about and up here for you all and loving every moment at the moment. John Coogan, who's aged 45 and a bit. That's more like VAT, isn't it, John? Wear and tear. And Stevenage, Hertfordshire says, "Hi, Ed, we're really looking forward to listening to Junior Choice. My brothers and I listened to Junior Choice back in the 70s. 70s, and all these family favourites bring back our childhood memories. Please play my request in your Christmas morning show, Tijuana Taxi by Herb Alpert, originally released back in Feb 66, but has become a real trendy one of our family. Well, say hello to our mum Diane, and say hello to my brothers Peter and Steve, and play my request. And when you say hello to mum Diane, will you say this as well?
Hello, darling.
All right, Herb, off you go, mate. I bet he loved doing that last note, whoever the saxophonist was. Hey, there was Tijuana Taxi by Herb Alpert. It's 20 to 10. It's Christmas morning. Happy Christmas to you all. Have you opened the presents yet? Mum, have you let them open the presents? Good. Quite right, too. I'm waiting till after the programme to open mine. Well, my one, anyway. Driving, listening to Junior Choice, says this Twitter. Waiting for a bit of Puff the Magic Dragon, Ed Stewpot legend. Thank you. You're going to get it eventually in this programme, Gareth Davis. And John Antle has tweeted a Life on Mars moment. Stumble across Junior Choice and instant transportation back to the 70s. It is wonderful, isn't it? I just wish I'd grown... No, I've still got long hair. Thanks for your brilliant Christmas Day show. We've enjoyed so much for the last few years, says Rachel. It'd be great if you could play Don't Jump Off the Roof, Dad, for my dad, Jack White. All no longer with us, I bet he'll be singing along and shouting, "Up the blues!" at you as we're stuffing the turkey. Now, I don't know what blues they are when you stuff a turkey, but there you are. It's... possibly Everton. We're glad you're back on the radio again for even just for 2 hours, says Keith Savage. Could you please play Don't Jump Off the Roof, Dad, by the late great Tommy Cooper, for my mum and dad, Carol and Norman, my in-laws, Terry and Joan, Uncle Gordon and my lovely wife, Madeline, and our sons, Ben and James. The song always raises a laugh. When Tommy starts chuckling, we all join in. When I was little, my sister Susan and I, Judith, once woke up to no presents. Oh, just empty pillowcases. Our parents thought it was really clever to leave a note saying when Father Christmas got to our house, there was nothing left. Better luck next year. They had hidden the presents in an old settee seat that was meant for bedding. Can I say they never did it again, please? It was enough to make you, well, jump off the roof, really.
Right, here we go then. Right, here we are then. Right. That's it. Right. I'll take over now, boys. Right, I'll take over. Right. Here we go then. Leave it to me now. I shall get it in a minute. Daddy came home from work tired. The boss had been driving him mad. The kids started fighting, the dog bit him too. His dinner was nothing but warmed over stew. I guess it was then he decided up to the rooftop he'll go. He was about to jump off when The kids started howling below. Oh, don't jump off the roof, Dad. You'll make a hole in the yard. Mother just planted petunias. The weeding and seeding was hard. If you must end it all, Dad, won't you please give us a break? Just take a walk to the park, Dad, and there you can jump in the lake. Keep it going, boys. Keep it going now. That's it. Nice and loud. Don't jump off the roof, Dad. You'll make a hole in the yard. Mother just planted petunias. The weeding and seeding was hard. If you must end it all, Dad, won't you please give us a break? Just take a walk to the park, Dad, and there you can jump in the lake.
I bet he was never a bodyguard, that Tommy Cooper.
Christmas on BBC One.
I am Captain Guy Hubble. Don't you know who I am?
No.
Royal Bodyguard.
His methods are unique.
I'm a man of the old school.
So the Queen hand-picked you.
Her Majesty seems to be rather fond of him.
He's a highly skilled operative.
He is completely out of his depth.
With him in that job, anything could happen.
And now the safety of the royal family is in his hands.
We're lucky to have him, you know, Dennis. What?
David Jason is the Royal Bodyguard. Boxing Day at 9:30 on BBC One and BBC One HD.
Yes, I'm here with you and you with me, and we're all listening to great old favourite records of Junior Choice. It's 9:45, and a record for our son Sasha, who will be spending his first Christmas in England, having just arrived from France, where he recently celebrated his first birthday. Anything you wish to play would be good with us, as we are lifelong Junior Choice listeners. I'll be listening to the show in Kinnerton with Pop, Jam, Melissa, Mum Virginia and Dad Paul, busy preparing the Christmas dinner. Merry Christmas to all listeners. I'll tell you what, Elaine Frew, you're going to have a little education thrown your way now with Dickie Valentine.
C is for the candy trimmed around the Christmas tree. H is for the happiness with all the family. R is for the reindeer prancing by the window pane. I is for the icing on the cake as sweet as sugar cane. S is for the stocking on the chimney wall. T is for the toys beneath the tree so tall. M is for the mistletoe where everyone is kissed. A is for the angels who make up the Christmas list. S is for old Santa who makes every kid his pet. Be good and he'll bring you everything in your Christmas alphabet. Capital C is for the candy trimmed around the Christmas tree. H is for the happiness with all the family. R is for the reindeer prancing by the window pane. I is for the icing on the cake as sweet as sugar cane. S is for the stocking on the chimney wall. T is for the toys beneath the tree so tall. M is for the mistletoe where everyone is kissed. A is for the angels who make up the Christmas list. S is for old Santa who makes every kid his pet. Be good and he'll bring you everything in your Christmas alphabet.
Yes, our favourite way to learn how to spell at Christmas. Christmas Alphabet by Dickie Valentine, reached number 11 in 1955. Had a couple of interesting phone calls. Shirley Burrow, son-in-law Jonathan Hedge from Milton Keynes, and Shirley from Edgware. We've had a little argument going on, and we're going to give the money to possibly children in need for a £10 bet. Was Arnold the dog yours or Tony Blackburn's? It was Tony Blackburn's, not mine. So whoever said Tony, well done. No, mine was the Allo Darling. Tony was Arnold. Greenacres, Clacton-on-Sea in Essex. Hello, Jenny. Jenny Yap. She's been writing to me since the first programme we did on Junior Choice in 1968, I think. Hope you're well. I'll be looking forward to hearing you on Christmas Day. Would you say hello to my 3 great nieces, Layla, aged 2, her sister Macy, 2 months, and, or was that 21 months? No, 2 months. Brett and son's daughter, Phoebe Blake, is 7 months old this month, and Terek's 2 girls have grown up, now working part-time, while Laura is at school. She's 13. Love to your Francesca and your Marco. Well, I've just had a phone call last night whilst I was asleep. It was left on my message. They just arrived in Australia where they're going to settle. Francesca and Mark and the 2 kids, Kenza and Jack. Stephen Brennan, first Merry Christmas to you and everybody at Radio 2. Dedicate a song to my mum Carol, please. I'm spending Christmas with my girlfriend's family, and as such, even though I can't be there in person, I'd just like to let my mum know I'm thinking of her, and I hope she has a wonderful day. Isn't that, Mum? See what a dutiful son you are, Stephen. And finally, Michael Price says, the Muppets version of Mana Mana, please. Season's greeting from the slopes of Ilkley Moor. It's great to have your splendid show back on the air once again. Now, this will be our 3rd Junior Choice appeal, not having got it before. We're hoping you can play us a request this time. All those classic kiddies songs have really stood the test of time, and tuning into you will bring back the memories. Lawrence is joined by little brother Hubert, now 9 months old, and I'm delighted to report, says Michael Price, we celebrate our first Christmas as a quartet. The boys get on famously. A Merry Christmas to their cousins, Austin and Martha and Alexander and Samuel, and new arrival Thomas, whose first words have been, Mana Mana.
Mana mana. Mana mana. Mana mana. Mana mana. Mana mana. Mana mana.
Pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good, though.
It could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!
I love those two, don't you? What were they called? Statler and Waldorf and Statler, that super stuff. Well, the hashtag is trending worldwide now, by the way. Junior Choice is trending worldwide. Fantastic. Puff the Magic Dragon says, Jill Greenwood, please. I live in Praia da Luz in Portugal with my partner Keith, and this year my parents who live in Cheshire will be with us as well. And Dad always used to love Puff the Magic Dragon, says Debbie Scott Downs, née Osborne, and all the Osborne tribe, especially Rob and Terry. And for Holly and Christopher Downs, even though they have probably heard it before, it won't hurt them to hear some good music. That's quite right. I agree with you. And one more for Puff the Magic Dragon from Nanny Noodle. Happy Christmas to James Brierley and Tom, his younger brother.
Puff the Magic Dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Little Jackie Paper loved that rascal Puff and brought him strings and sealing wax and other fancy stuff. Oh, Puff the Magic Dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Puff the Magic Dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Together they would travel on a boat with billowed sail. Jackie kept a lookout perched on Puff's gigantic tail. Noble kings and princes would bow whene'er they came. Pirate ships would lower their flags when Puff roared out his name. Oh, Puff the Magic Dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Puff the Magic Dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. A dragon lives forever, but not so little boys. Painted wings and giant's rings make way for other toys. One grey night it happened, Jackie Paper came no more. And Puff, that mighty dragon, he ceased his fearless roar. His head was bent in sorrow, green scales fell like rain. Puff no longer went to play along the cherry lane. Without his lifelong friend, Puff could not be brave. So Puff, that mighty dragon, sadly slipped into his cave. Oh, Puff the Magic Dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Puff the Magic Dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu.
Puff the Magic Dragon for Caris and Yayan Wilson. 3-year-old twins with a passion for dragons, says a blessed twin mum. And please play Puff the Magic Dragon for 3 lads who used to be 3'2", they're now 6'2", and along with their dad, they used to love this record when they were kids. Thank you, say Chris and Rob Reed of Shepton Mallet, that should be, for Robert, Ed and John on this Christmas morning. OK, one to take us up to the news, and if my brother doesn't do anything about this, then I might miss the news. But I won't, I promise. Now I'm a Stewpot, says Jeff Lloyd of Maidenhead, gives me goosebumps of nostalgic recognition listening to Junior Choice today. My late stepdad, Malky, would send me a tape he'd recorded off the radio of Junior Choice selections, which me and all my buddies would play in the tape until the tape wore out. That was when we had our deprived childhood. Well, I was at boarding school. So my brother would be terrific. And also Terry Scott, my brother, for David and Nola in Barming, Maidstone in Kent. Thank you very much. Always makes us laugh as we sing along. And a mention to my 2 children, says Mrs. Martin Thomas. Their names are James and Oliver, who'll be listening to your show from our home in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where we are guaranteed a white Christmas every year. Oh, lucky old you. James has been listening to your show since it was brought back thanks to the iPlayer. OK, My Brother is coming up. A couple more here from my iPhone, says David Markham and Richard Lane from East Dulwich in London. 40 years ago you first played us this. How about playing again for my lovely brothers Andy and Matt, and Terry Scott's My Brother for Chris and Judith Dale in Lowestoft in Suffolk, and finally My Brother. Whoa! Who's this going to be for Chubby McLean, who will no doubt be working as usual? Thanks, Ed. My brother would be so good. Thank you, says the old vicar in Ambleside.
There's something funny around here. What is it? Oh, it's you. Come here and sit down. You're going to have the truth told about you and put on record. Here, please do not sit too close to me. I've just had my breakfast. Thank you. Who put salt in the sugar bowl? Who put fireworks in the coal? Who put a real live toad in the hole? My brother. Who put jam in mother's shoe? Who made real caterpillar stew? Who locked Grandad in the loo? My brother. My brother said it wasn't he who put shampoo in Grandma's tea. My brother said that it was me. My brother's rotten. Who squeezed toothpaste round the hall? Who put soot in the baby's ball? Who drew things on the garden wall? My brother. You ought to see what he drew. Oh, what a surprise. Nobody knew what it was really, but everybody had a jolly good idea. And he wrote slogans. Down with young mothers, that was one. Because he don't think my mum knows how to bring us up right. I don't think so either. You know, every night when we're wide awake, she makes us go to bed. And then in the morning when we're fast asleep, she makes us get up. Whose pet mouse made Auntie shriek? Who ate glue and couldn't speak? What clever dick was sick for a week? My brother. Who keeps maggots in a tin? Plays the twist on his violin? Who's been getting at the gin? My brother. He looks just like a chimney sweep, but dirt, they say, is just skin deep. I know he's good when he's asleep. But you don't know what he's dreaming about, do you? Who wouldn't mind if I ride his bike? Who lets me shoot his gun if I like? Who says I'm best at football, ludo, snakes and ladders, hide and seek, chasing each other up and down the garden, pinching little girls up the high street? Well, he's got to say I'm best because I'm bigger than he is, and if he don't say I'm best at everything, I'll bash him. Ha ha! My lovely, lovely brother. Come on, mate, let's get out of here before you fall down the hole in the middle. Come on, give us your hand. We're going to walk. Here, what have you had in your hand? Have you?
Four. Doesn't the mind always boggle? There's Terry Scott and My Brother. And this is BBC Radio 2, online, on digital, and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC Radio 2.
Morning.
Here we go again.
Second hour.
Frosty the Snowman was a happy, jolly soul, with a corn cob pipe and a button nose and two eyes made out of coal. Frosty the Snowman is a fairy tale, they say. He was made of snow, but the children know how he came to life one day. There must have been some magic in that old shoe that they
Yes, and Frosty the Snowman, the only one allowed to do his morning dip from Brighton Beach today, is Frosty the Snowman. Welcome back. Second part of Junior Choice on this Christmas morning. Happy Christmas. How are you all? By the way, tweeters, hashtag Junior Choice is now number one and is worldwide. So there you go. If you want to get in touch in another way, then you can email Stewpot at bbc.co.uk. You can text to me, 88291, or phone 0500 288 291. Text will be charged at your standard message rate, and calls are free from most landlines. Some networks and mobile operators, though, will charge for these calls. Now, I can't mention everybody today. It's impossible. I've got so much. I'm snowed under. There is where we've come to snow this Christmas. Me snowed under with your requests. We've less than an hour left. I'd love to hear from you all the same, because you've been asking for all sorts of wonderful things in the run-up to this programme. Karen has emailed me, and please play Three Wheels on My Wagon, as it just conjures up wonderful memories of my listening to Junior Choice many years ago. And Clive and Linda Miller are on the Isle of Wight in Newport. Three Wheels on My Wagon, please. Or for my wife and I on your Christmas Day show, we used to have a three-wheeled Reliant when we first got married, and this song will make us all laugh. We both listened to your show as children and have fond memories of the songs that you played. OK, Ed, we can enjoy a second childhood for 2 hours. So excited to see the Junior Choice is back again, but that's for everybody, and many tweets and many things you said about listening to the old records again. Isn't it wonderful?
Three wheels on my wagon, and I'm still rolling along. The Cherokees are chasing me, arrows fly right on by, but I'm singing a happy song. I'm singing higgity, haggity, hoggity, high. Pioneers, they never say die. A mile up the road, there's a hidden cave, and we can watch those Cherokees go galloping by.
George, they're catching up to us.
Get back in the wagon, woman. Two wheels on my wagon, and I'm still rolling along. Them Cherokees are after me. Flaming spears burn my ears, but I'm singing a happy song. I'm singing higgity, haggity, hoggity, high. Pioneers, they never say die. Half a mile up the road, there's a hidden cave, and we can watch those Cherokees go galloping by.
Are you sure this is the right road?
Will you hush up, you and your maps? One wheel on my wagon, and I'm still rolling along. Them Cherokees after me. I'm all in flames at the reins, but I'm singing a happy song. I'm singing higgity, haggity, hoggity, high. Pioneers, they never say die. Right around that turn, there's a hidden cave, and we can watch those Cherokees go galloping by.
George, should I get the bag of beads and trinkets?
Woman, I know what I'm doing. No wheels on my wagon, so I'm not rolling along. The Cherokees captured me. They look mad, things look bad, but I'm singing a happy song. Come on, all you Cherokees, sing along with me. Higgity, haggity, hoggity,
New Christy Minstrels, Three Wheels on My Wogan, as one of them said. Can't get away from it. Jenna Bennett says in Harlow to her dad Les, who makes her get up every Christmas at 9 o'clock to listen to Junior Choice, screaming from her bed. Oh, Jenna, I bet we'll leave the tranny next to the bed and you can stay there. Major Jonathan Richards phoned us and said from Chorley Wood, please say Happy Christmas to all his support and best wishes to his battalion, 5 Rifles, patrolling in Afghanistan today. Many of you listening out there, courtesy possibly not only of Radio 2 but BFBS, and so it'd be lovely to mention you all and think of you. Lauren Cook says, Puff the Magic... Oh, these are all tweets now. Puff the Magic Dragon, first time listening to Junior Choice, and it's awesome. Many thanks, says Lauren. Anne-Marie Houghton says, turkey in oven, vegetables prepared, now singing along to Junior Choice whilst I put my feet up for a bit. And Mark Chapman says, when I was a boy, 2 little boys made me cry. Now I have 2 sons. It's almost unbearable. Can't wait for it. It'll be one of our last records in the programme today. Andy Weston, been dancing along with the kids to Mouse Lives in a Windmill, waiting for Captain Beaky, which happens to be next. Captain Beaky and his band, says Julia Elmer. Our friends Chris and Sarah Storer bought Martha a copy of the Captain Beaky CD for her birthday and has introduced the girls and introduced us to some fabulous songs. It would really make their Christmas morning if you could say hello. Julia and Ian Elmer for Chris and Sarah. And another one here for Captain Beaky. Please would you play Captain Beaky by Keith Michelle for my parents, says Helen Davis, née Robson. My parents' names are Irene and Stan, and my sister Elspeth Robson. It would mean everything to me. It'd be a double celebration, as Dad turns 72 on the 23rd of December, and my sister Elspeth is 40 this coming year. Happy Christmas, Ed, to you and all your listeners. Paul Maidment says, Captain Beaky for my brother-in-law Paul, please. He and I went to the performance of Captain Beaky at the Royal Albert Hall last weekend. It was a really lovely evening. My wonderful 18-month-old nephew Freddie, but most of all for my awesome wife Sarah. I often wonder when you refer to a wife what awesome actually means, who on the 8th of November this year delivered our beautiful daughter Charlotte Elizabeth. Now I've found out. We're listening to you today for Captain Beaky, says Toby Long of Southbourne in Bournemouth. It's a family favourite. Please play Captain Beaky. It reminds me of my dear old dad who bought this for me when I was a baby. A wonderful song that my children now enjoy too. And a couple more for Captain Beaky from Catherine Lane. I've been looking forward to your show since last year. Long wait, isn't it? Totally love listening to you on Christmas morning and all the tunes that bring back happy memories of, for me, we will be listening to you from my parents' house near Nantwich in Cheshire. So please play Captain Beaky, which I'll also play for Arlo, from his mum and dad, Emily and Ben, and grandparents Chris and Jan. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun!
The bravest animals in the land are Captain Beaky and his band. That's Timid Toad, Reckless Rat, Artful Owl and Fatty Bat. March to the woodland singing songs that tell how they have righted wrongs. Once hissing Sid, an evil snake, kept the woodland folk awake in fear and trembling every night in case he gave someone a bite. Said Artful Owl, we'll lie in wait, and one of us will be the bait. Said Captain Beaky, have no fear, for I alone will volunteer. No, make it me, said Reckless Rat. I'll stand there in my reckless hat. When hissing Sid picks up my trail, I'll just lasso him with my tail. Oh, a good idea, said Timid Toad. We'll hide a long way down the road, and when you've overcome resistance, we'll rush along to your assistance. Said Fatty Bat, I've got a wheeze. I'll fly and hide up in the trees. If hissing Sid should slither by, I'll drop a boulder from the sky. Said Artful Owl, the idea's sound. How will you lift it off the ground? Poor Fatty Bat just scratched his head. I hadn't thought of that, he said. Said Owl, the rest of us hold back. There's only one that he'll attack. Said Timid Toad, I like your plan. Good luck, said Owl, for you're the man. So Timid Toad, his eyes a popping, into the woodland night went hopping. Captain Beaky waved his hand, followed with his trusted band. That's Artful Owl and Reckless Rat, and above the trees flew Batty Bat. Stop, said Beaky, I hear squeaking. It's Batty Bat, said Owl, he's speaking. It's all in code, said Reckless Rat. Said Owl, I'll just decipher that. A dash, a dot, too short, too long. I rather hope you've got it wrong. It reads, can clearly see the road. Hissing Sid has captured Toad. Quick, man, said Beaky, no delay. You mustn't let him get away. And leaping off, said, follow me, and ran headfirst into a tree. Dot, 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 squeaked Batty Bat. Said Beaky, quick, decipher that. Said Reckless Rat, perhaps we're gaining. No, said Owl, he says it's raining. Oh, how they ran to save poor Toad, for they must find that snake's abode. Guided by old Batty Bat, Dot, Dot, go this way, dash, go that. Then hissing Sid's lair they espied. Were they too late? Was he inside? Said reckless Rat, I'll get a pole and stop him going down his hole. Then into sight the snake came hopping, right past his hole, no sign of stopping. Said reckless Rat, that's rather funny, there's something jumping in his tummy. Said Captain Beaky, well, I'm blown. Hissing Sid has swallowed Toad. And as the snake hopped out of sight, off they chased into the night. At last they found him, tired and dizzy, and pulled out Toad, who said, where is he? For left alone, I felt quite sick, and hopped into a hollow stick. Said Owl, a clever step to take, you jumped into that slippery snake. That was brave of Toad, said Rat. That's just my sort of plan, said Bat. Said Captain Beaky to his men, I will not see hissing Sid again. And as they marched off down the road, they sang in praise of timid Toad. Above them flew old Batty Bat, with his wings stretched out quite flat. Owl's idea, that clever fella, to have a flying umbrella. The bravest animals in the land are Captain Beaky and his band. That's timid Toad, reckless Rat, artful Owl and Batty Bat. March to the woodland singing songs that tell how they have righted wrongs. Hey, wait for me.
Always a favourite, Keith Michelle and Captain Beaky. I wonder if somebody's going to be called Hissing Sid today. I bet there is. Probably somebody's had too much of the mulled wine. Miriam Hayward in the Honeymead Care Home, West Street in Bedminster, says, I'm one of your blind followers, Ed, and I hope you like my Christmas card too, all the pretties on the front. Thank you, Miriam. Absolutely lovely. You liked Captain Beaky, and coincidentally you also said you liked Sparky. So Sparky is next. Hi, Ed. Always lovely to hear your Christmas show, says Eve. 90 years young is Eve in the village of Blagden, North Somerset. It's a tradition in our home now. Please can we have Sparky? Happy Christmas. From Ed, Heather, Natalie, and 93 years young Eve in the village of Blagden. Sparky's Magic Piano, please. I know in the old days when you were kids you used to go behind the settee because you got rather scared, one or two of you, didn't you? Go on, own up, I know. Jim Milford says, how about Sparky's Magic Piano? The memories come flooding back. My two daughters, Carolyn and Kathleen, says Kathleen got married to Steve just 3 months ago, and they will love Sparky, as well as Vivian. And Claire from Berkshire says, sent for my BlackBerry, 3 songs take me back to listening to Junior Choice. And of course, Sparky's Magic Piano is at the top of my list. And Livy says, Junior Choice at the weekends, My Brother and Puff the Magic Dragon. You've played them both. How about the rib-tickling Laughing Police? And I don't know if we're playing that this year, but we're definitely going, Sparky.
Sparky, oh Sparky.
Who's that? Who's calling me?
It is I, your piano.
My piano? But you're talking.
Yes, I can talk, and I can play myself.
You can play yourself?
Don't be surprised, Sparky. I'm going to show you what it is like when you can play the piano well.
You'll really show me? You'll show me what it's like to play the piano well?
Yes, Sparky. Sit down on my stool. Put your fingers on my keys.
All right. I'm sitting on the piano stool, and my hands are on the keys. What do I do now?
Run your hands over my keys.
Why, I'm playing just like my teacher.
No, I'm playing for you, Sparky.
I know it's you playing. But when I run my hands over the keys, it's just like I was playing myself. Let's play a piece.
something very hard. That revolutionary etude by Chopin my teacher sometimes plays for me.
All right, Sparky, I'll play anything you ask me to play. For now.
This is fun!
Sparky, who's that playing? Is Miss Spear still here?
No, Mother. Miss Spear is gone.
Well, who was that playing?
Well, I was, Mother.
Well, if you must have your little joke. But let's see you play like that again, while I watch this time.
All right, Mother. Come on, piano. Here we go.
Sparky, I can't believe it. It really was you playing. How did you learn to play so well? Oh, I must phone your teacher right away.
Every child's dream, wasn't it, to play the piano like that, and Sparky got away with it. Stewpot, you're really completing our morning. Say the Oxford family from the Allsops, quiet as mice, building Lego. Our dear departed dad, Frank, called our nanny, Mary, Mudder, and used to sing Nellie the Elephant to her. And we spent a wonderful day with my brother, sister-in-law, and nephews yesterday, and it was great as my wonderful husband is now back from Afghanistan. We know they'll be listening, so please say thank you and Happy Christmas, and I hope they enjoyed Sparky.
Christmas Day on BBC Radio 2.
Hello!
From 2, French and Saunders.
Stand aside, Steve Wright, because this show's going to be huger.
Don't say that, you'll infuriate him. Then from 4...
It's me, Justin Lee Collins, playing one of my favourite music genres, lounge. But what is it? Hotel piano music or the Rat Pack in Vegas?
And at 6...
Join me, David Jason, as I select my Christmas comedy favourites. Classic comedy from the likes of Hancock's Half Hour, Dad's Army, and of course, Only Fools and Horses.
Christmas Day
on BBC Radio 2.
Radio number 2.
Wrong. French and Saunders were number 1 now at Radio 2, so there we are. I think 22 minutes past 10. That's the time of this Christmas morning with me, Ed Stewart. Margaret Scott in Melksham in Wiltshire says, love to hear White Horses sung by Jackie. I haven't heard this for ages. Please play it for my daughter Diane, who this year will be with us as she'll be spending her first Christmas in her own home with partner Anthony, and they live in Brampton. Oh, will not be with us, I beg your pardon, I left the not out, very important word. They live in Brampton in Cumbria, and my partner Steve and his mum Sylvia, who will be with us on Christmas Day. When I was very young, I remember that instead of fairy lights on our tree, we had candles with holders that you clipped onto the tree. I don't ever remember them being lit, but wonder what health and safety would say today. I don't think it would be allowed today somehow. Theme from Follyfoot, better known as White Horses. Thank you, Vanessa. Always reminds me of being a child in the 70s and galloping around the living room in my house. I used to listen to Junior Choice every weekend as a child, pre-Saturday morning TV. What? Thank you, Vanessa. And also, please play White Horses from the television programme White Horses for my partner, Andrew, years after it was played for him on Junior Choice when he was a lad. And please give our boys, Otto and Inigo, some idea of what we rocked to until punk came along. Jackie Harrison Stanley says, White Horses by Jackie, please. I used to love this as a little girl. Just to hear this will take me right back.
Let me ride away to my world of dreams so far away. Let me run to the sun, to a world my heart can understand. It's a gentle, warm and wonderland far away. Stars away, where the clouds are made of candy floss. As the day is born, when the stars are gone, we'll race to meet the dawn. So when I can only see the grey of a sad and very lonely day, that's when I softly sigh. horses, snowy white horses, let me ride away. Where the clouds are made of candy floss, as the day is born, when the stars are gone, we'll race to meet the dawn. So when I can only see the gray of a sad and very lonely day, that's when I softly sigh. On white horses, snowy white horses, let me ride away, 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 away.
Yeah, I bet one or two of you were listening to that whilst you were riding your little white horse. Not on a road, I hope, because you won't hear the traffic around you, but maybe out in the countryside. You can hear Jackie's white horses. So Peter Wadsworth in London and Jane Boothman in Bristol have joined in on an email of their own. Hello, Stewpot. My sister Jane and I always make a point of listening to your festive junior choice. Jane has grown-up children of her own now, and there's always a special time for us to listen together, even though we are miles apart on Christmas Day. This is the first Christmas without dear old Mum, so we'd like you to say a big hello to everybody who's celebrating their Christmas without a special loved one. Lovely thought. Thank you very much, Peter and Jane. And I'd like to make a few of the following dedications for your Christmas Day junior choice, says Chris Fear. Mr. Chris Fear. The dedication is as follows. A super beautiful lady by the name of Laura Billings. A big, big thank you for her help to me over the last 18 months. Mum Jo Billings and sister Amanda. My sister Carolyn Dent, her husband Alan, Hannah, Holly and Hattie, my nieces. They don't drop their H's in that family. And my dad Gordon, and last of all my American Cocker Spaniel George, both of whom have also helped me through my illness over the last few years. Thank you, Chris, for that one. And Margaret and Janet Lambert. Hello. God, lovely to hear from you two again. I've heard from you all my life, it seems. Welcome back. A happy Christmas to you and yours and all at Radio 2. And it wouldn't be the same without the dulcet tones of Bing Crosby's White Christmas. So please, humour two oldies with this request, remembering our late mum and dad, Hilda and Eddie, and our many, many friends as well. Thank you, Margaret and Janet. And, of course, the familiar theme of White Christmas.
Of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your day be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten
Bing Crosby. As we say, Christmas wouldn't be Christmas Day and this programme without playing White Christmas by Bing Crosby. And a lot of us are much too young even to remember when it first came out. But I'll play for my other two grandchildren, Grace and Hope, because they live in the middle of the country and they love it when it snows and they can look out of their windows surrounded by the stuff. Now, Mark Langdon says, please play a song for my three daughters, Chloe, who's 16, Courtney, 11, and Madison, who's 8. Cheers, Ed. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year, says Mark Langdon. Bill Palmer in Caerphilly says, every year I look out for Junior Choice in the listings as it helps me make my Christmas and it brings back so many happy memories. A song for my beautiful grandchildren, please. Ella Louise, Ryan, Isabel, and Matthew. Oh, that's us. I know it'll make them happy to hear you mention them. OK, Bill, done that. Merry Christmas, says David Pike of Armathwaite, Carlisle in Cumbria, and a Happy New Year as well, and up the toffees. I'm 51 years old and remember listening to you back in 68, 69, when I was a young lad growing up in Hampshire. In fact, the very first record I ever bought was The Legend of Xanadu by Dave D, Dozy, Beaky, Mick and Titch. We lived in an old caravan, had no TV, but the crackling wireless was on all the time, and I've been a fan of the radio and music and Everton ever since. I used to and still do, love the Unicorn song by the Bachelors. I loved it so much, I picked up a shell of Silverstein, the writer's, cassette of it and played it to my daughter Hannah in the car, driving to and from primary school. She's now 16. Playing this song will bring back such many happy memories. And please dedicate it to my wife, Hannah's mum, Michelle, for the hard work she does at Christmas and throughout the year. And to the Bachelors as well, for telling us such a charming story.
A long time ago, when the earth was green, there was more kinds of animals than you'd ever seen. They'd run around free while the earth was being born, but the loveliest of them all was the unicorn. There was green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-backed camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but sure as you're born, the loveliest of all was the unicorn. Now God seen some sinning and it gave him pain, and he says, stand back, I'm going to make it rain. He says, hey brother Noah, I'll tell you what to do. Build me a floating zoo and take some of them green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-backed camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but sure as you're born, don't you forget my unicorn. Old Noah was there to answer the call. He finished up making the ark just as the rain started falling. He marched in the animals 2 by 2, and he called out as they went through, hey Lord, I got you green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-backed camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but Lord, I'm so forlorn, I just can't see no unicorn. Then Noah looked out through the driving rain. Them unicorns were hiding, playing silly games, kicking and splashing while the rain was pouring. Oh, them silly unicorns. There was green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-backed camels and some chimpanzees. Noah cried, close the door, 'cause the rain is pouring, and we just can't wait for no unicorn. The ark started moving, it drifted with the tide. Them unicorns looked up from the rocks and they cried. The waters came down and sort of floated them away. And that's why you've never seen a unicorn to this very day. You'll see green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-backed camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but sure as you're born, you're never gonna see no unicorn.
The great thing about that record is the Bachelors still believe the story. They are the Bachelors and the Unicorn. It's coming up to 24 minutes to 11. We've got to keep it moving, haven't we? What? Are you moving house, or have you just moved house? Is it a DIY week for you? You'll love Right Said Fred, won't you? And so will Mummy and Daddy Hennessy. For Claire and John, who are lovely two children, always enjoy the show, and let's say Happy Christmas to the two of them. And Naz Dace says, my 40-something husband Andrew's childhood favourite has to be Bernard Cribbin's Right Said Fred. And also 10-year-old Leo will enjoy this. I have so many happy memories of your show, Ed, often listening alongside my granddad and best friend Tracy, whose wedding reception my husband and I met at many years later. Oh, it's their fault, was it? OK. Very Merry Christmas to all at Radio 2. Some more messages which have been coming in whilst I've been talking away. My husband Richard has a birthday on Christmas Day, and please say happy birthday to him and all the other Christmas Day babies, with lots of love on this special day, Claire Reese Brown. And morning, Ed, would you please wish my lovely daughter Georgia Barton a very happy 17th birthday today. She was the best Christmas present ever. Merry Christmas to you all and all your listeners, and thank you, says Mandy Dodson. And one more phone call here before we close the lines. Great to hear your show. We've been looking forward to it all year, since last Christmas. So have I. Can you say hello to all our friends and family, especially our friend Robin Foster, who is 50 today. Lots of love from Val and Alan Humphreys, Smethwick in the West Midlands. And 32 years ago today, I received the best ever Christmas, says Roger Cook, my daughter Leda May. Wish her a very happy birthday. One of our favourites is Doing, ding, doing.
Right said Fred, both of us together, one each end and steady as we go. Tried to shift it, couldn't even lift it, we was getting nowhere, and so we had a cup of tea, and right said Fred, give a shout for Charlie, up comes Charlie from the floor below. After straining, even and complaining, we was getting nowhere, and so we had a cup of tea, and Charlie had a think, and he thought we ought to take off all the handles and the things what held the candles, but it did no good. Well, I never thought it would. All right, said Fred, have to take the feet off to get them feet off, wouldn't take 'em out. Took its feet off, even took the seat off, should have got us somewhere, but no. So Fred said, let's have another cup of tea, and we said, righto. All right, said Fred, have to take the door off, need more space to shift the so-and-so. Had bad twinges, taking off the hinges, and it got us nowhere, and so we had a cup of tea, and right, said Fred, have to take the wall down, that there wall is gonna have to go. Took the wall down, even with it all down, we was getting nowhere, and so we had a cup of tea, and Charlie had a think, and he said, look Fred, I got a sort of feeling, if we remove the ceiling with a rope or two, we could drop the bladder through. All right, said Fred, climbing up a ladder with his crowbar, gave a mighty blow. Was he in trouble? Half a ton of rubble landed on the top of his dome. So Charlie and me had another cup of tea, and then we went home. I said to Charlie, we'll just have to leave it standing on the landing, that's all. Yeah. You see, the trouble with Fred is he's too hasty. Now, you never get nowhere if you're too hasty.
Thank you, Bernard. And it's dropped the blighter through. I asked Bernard that the other day. I said, what do you see in that line? Because it's not quite clear enough, Bernard. You should have gone back in the studio and recorded it so we could all hear you say, drop the blighter through. Oh, thank you for all your phone calls and texts and emails and you tweeters. You've really excelled today. You've really excelled. Thank you so much. We'll have to close all the lines now because at 20 to 10, thereabouts, we just won't have time to play everything. In fact, if I had time to play everything, I'll be here till 4 o'clock this afternoon, I think. We'd love to hear, say, Alex, Zara and Callum Abu Harb, aged 11, 9 and 7, respectively. Here Comes Santa Claus by Bob Dylan. What a good idea. We haven't played this before.
Here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. Vixen and Blixen and old his reindeer pulling on the reins. Bells are ringing, children singing, all is merry and bright. comes Santa Claus.
Here comes Santa Claus.
Right down Santa Claus Lane.
He doesn't care if you're rich or poor,
For he loves you just the same.
Santa knows that we're God's children.
That makes everything right.
Fill your hearts with a Christmas cheer.
'Cause Santa Claus comes tonight. Santa Claus,
right down Santa Claus Lane.
He'll come round when the chimes ring out, when it's Christmas morn again.
Peace on earth will come to all if we just follow the line.
So fill your hearts with the Christmas cheer, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight.
Peace on earth will come to all
if we just follow the line.
Let's give thanks to the Lord above.
'Cause Santa Claus comes tonight.
'Cause Santa Claus comes tonight. Let's give thanks to the Lord above. 'Cause Santa Claus comes tonight. Tonight. Tonight.
Bob Dylan's unexpectedly popular one. Bob Dylan singing Here Comes Santa Claus, and why not? It's a great song. And there was Bob, and John and Liz Wilson say not the most popular record in our son's place. Well, you see, a sympathetic shout to son Gareth, 32 going on 5, and his partner Niall in the Oval in London, who've just found out that their £20 turkey got burnt in the oven overnight, and they're blaming Santa Claus. A neighbour has rescued them with chicken fillets for 20, so best of luck to the boys of Offaly Road. What a great name to live in a place called Offaly Road when your turkey's burnt. Well, that's got rid of the offal, isn't it? OK, next please.
Christmas Day night with BBC Radio 2.
You know, growing up in the Goodman household, Christmas was all about the tree, the turkey and the tango. Sitting round the old Joanna, my nan knocking out a tune, and there'd be me and my family singing away.
Strictly Christmas with Len Goodman.
We'd be listening to people like Tommy Dorsey, old Blue Eyes himself, and a little something from Brucey.
Strictly Christmas.
Now don't forget, it's Len at 10. Christmas Day. Come on, it's Christmas!
Radio 2, that's us, and it's me, Ed Stewart, and there's a good old Len from Strictly Come Dancing. I'll just give that one more shake, because I bet they're annoying you. Morag Balach says, please play anything for the Balachs from Aberdeen, as my mum used to have the wireless on a lot, and we grew up listening to your show. And hello, darling, to everybody listening. If we can get that ready, I'll ask you to play that. See? Finger on the buzzer there. Hello, darling. Now, can you send a Christmas wishes to everybody listening, but in particular Joan and Paddy O'Donnell from East Hagbourne, say Pud and Freddie, and his friends know him as Christmas, Pud. Our grandchildren Isabel and Brenda McCann live in sunny Florida. They always listen to your Christmas Day show. This year we're not there for Christmas, so thought it would be nice for them to have a request played in your show. They like Grandad. Don't you all love your Grandad? And your nanny as well, especially Nanny and Grandad Shepherd from the Wirral and Merseyside.
I've been sitting here all day thinking, same old dream 10 years away, thinking, now my days are gone, memories linger on, thoughts of when I was a boy. Penny farthings on the street, riding motor cars for funny things, frightening bowling hoops and spinning tops, penny dreadfuls and lollipops, comic cuts, all different thing. Aeroplanes tied up with string, flying. Telephones and talking things, sighing. A radio and phonograph, Charlie Chaplin made us laugh. Silently falling about. Familiar things I keep around near me, memories of my younger days clearly come into my mind. Every day I find thoughts of when I was a boy.
Ah, that record means even more to me these days now that I'm a granddad myself. There's Clive Dunn. Grandad. It's coming up to 10 to 11. Is it really? Better go move on, Ed. Sheila Giblin in Portugal emails us and says, Merry Christmas, Ed, from a bright and sunny Algarve. All right, don't rub it in. Actually, it's quite warm here. It's probably as warm here as it is in the Algarve. At least 35 years ago, we sent in a tape recording requesting little Jimmy Osmond singing Long-Haired Lover from Liverpool. And all the children on that tape now have children of their own. Please say hello to my daughter Vicky, her husband Steve, and my little grandson Charlie, aged 1 3/4. Don't forget the 3/4. And all the family in Chepstow. Thanks, we're loving the programme. There's Sheila. And Virginia Groves from Chawton in Lancashire says, Long-Haired Lover from Liverpool, please, for my 2 grandchildren, Romilly and Austin. The Osmonds are in your studio, Ed. I remember it so vividly. On the 27th of October 1973, I've been a fan of theirs since, and we loved it when little Jimmy was reading out the request in your studio at the BBC, and he started your card, Dear Stewpot.
Serenade you till I'm old and gray.
Little Jimmy. This is Stewpot saying, hope you're still enjoying singing that record. I bet he never does in his cabaret act. Long-haired lover. Ian Rose, on behalf of my wife May and all the Canongate Church ex-Girls Club members, say May Rose on all the rest of those ladies. Back in the early 60s, used to go holiday camping at Scatterall, just outside Edinburgh. I hope I've said that right. This song will bring back fond memories of time spent at camp in the wooden huts with bunk beds, no lighting and only outside toilets, but of course there was the singing. We don't mention those words here now, but we listen to the Shadows singing. Well, not singing, no, they're only playing. Thank goodness for that. Quartermaster's Stores. Now the Shadows there, and without the words, and those other words which were printed in front of me, which I didn't dare read out. Quartermaster's Stores. Look at the time, it's 5 to 11. It's time for me to say last record time, I'm sorry to say. Sent from my iPad. Hello, Stewpot. Can you say a Merry Christmas to Angie, Tom, Claude and Rebecca? I hope Santa bought them all they love. Love, says Gary in Kinver. Please could you say and play Two Little Boys by Rolf Harris, sending Christmas wishes to my husband Mick, our sons Andrew and Mark, their partners Kaz and Sarah, and our beautiful granddaughters Alex and Natalie. Many thanks, says Amanda Brown. And we all look forward to listening to your show on Christmas Day. My husband Mike sang Two Little Boys to all of our 4 children when they were small, and they've never forgiven him. So I'd like to dedicate this to him and our now 4 grown-up children, one of whom is leaving to go to Australia in the new year. Thank you, says Lorraine Sackett. And Steve McAdam says from Beaconsfield in Buckinghamshire, long-time fan of Junior Choice and a lifelong Everton fan, we had a good chat and you recommended 1 or 2 nice country pubs in Dorset. I've never forgotten them, and I thank you so much. Any of the old favourites for my dear wife June and children Lisa, Katie, Charlotte and James, but especially Rolf's 2 little boys. And please play 2 Little Boys for our 2 lovely grandsons, Harry and Teddy. Harry and Teddy Ellis, that is. It's a very special treat for Christmas. It's their favourite song. And mention our 3 older grandchildren, Laura, Daniel and Joshua. Thank you, say Nana and Grandad Winterflood. And from Barney the Pup, please dedicate a record to my dad, David Mills, and my uncle John. They've been looking after my mum, Leslie, who hasn't been too well at the lately. Thank you, says Barney the Pup. And finally, Paul McGuinness says, Merry Christmas. Rolf Harris, please, and Merry Christmas to my wife, Jill, son, Philip, and daughter, Joanne.
2 little boys had 2 little toys. Each had a wooden horse. Gaily they played each summer's day. Warriors both, of course. One little chap then had a mishap, broke off his horse's head, wept for his toy, then cried with joy as his young playmate said, "Did you think I would leave you crying when there's room on my horse for two? Climb up here, Jack, and don't be crying. I can go just as fast with two. When we grow up, we'll both be soldiers, and our horses will not be toys. And I wonder if we'll remember when we were two little boys." Long years passed, war came so fast, bravely they marched away. Cannon roared loud, and in the mad crowd, wounded and dying lay. Up goes a shout, a horse dashes out, out from the ranks so blue. Gallops away to where Joe lay, then came a voice he knew. "Did you think I would leave you dying when there's room on my horse for two? Climb up here, Joe will soon be flying. I can go just as fast with two. Did you say, Joe, I'm all a-tremble? Perhaps it's the battle's noise, but I think it's that I remember when we were two little boys. Did you think I would leave you dying? There's room on my horse for two. Climb up here, Joe will soon be flying back to the ranks so blue. Can you feel, Joe, I'm all a-tremble? Perhaps it's the battle's noise, but I think it's that I remember when we were two little boys."
The last number one from 1969 and the first number one of the 70s. The eternal Rolf Harris's Two Little Boys. So it's goodbye from me, Stewpot. Hope you enjoyed our programme for the last 2 hours. Stay tuned for Paul O'Grady soon. But my thanks to Claire Freeman, Laura Peterson and Lynn Holden for their work on the programme, and the studio manager, Donald MacDonald, and the programme produced in Birmingham by Lisa Wallace. Thanks, folks. It's Ed Stewart saying until we meet again, this is BBC Radio 2 online, on digital and 88 to 91 FM.